Let's come together as one so that we can make one nation. Come on, Africa. 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 We want freedom. We want freedom. Africa. We want freedom. Africa. Chairman O'Malley, Yeshitela, Chairman and leader of the Uhuru movement.
Sweet love in Africa. Africa is my motherland. Nice love in Africa. Oh, Africa is my motherland. Sweet love in Africa. Africa is my motherland. Nice love in Africa. Oh, Africa is my motherland. Asumalele mama. Love you, Africa. Asumalele mama. Love you, Africa. Asumalele mama. Love you, Africa. Love you, Africa. The land that we love, we sweet Africa. The land that we love, we sweet Africa. Let us come together, let us build up this sweet motherland. Let's join on together and build up this sweet motherland. Let there be peace, peace, peace in Africa. Let there be love, love, love in Africa. Let's unite, unite, unite Africa. Let's unite, unite, unite Africa. Sweet love in Africa. Africa is my motherland. Nice love in Africa. Oh, Africa is my motherland. Sweet love in Africa. Africa is my motherland. Nice love in Africa. Oh, Africa is my motherland. Asumalele mama. Love you, Africa. Asumalele mama. Love you, Africa. Asumalele mama. Love you, Africa.
Uhuru comrades, thank you so much for coming to this volunteer appreciation event. My name is Soliana Bakel. I am the managing editor for the Burning Spear newspaper, and I'm here with Black Power 96 radio station manager, DJ Eddie L. Maltby Jr., and today we will be your MCs for today's special event celebrating the volunteers of Burning Spear Media and Black Power 96 Radio. So some housekeeping before we just get started with the program. We ask that you stay muted, at least until the very end of the program. Then we'll be asking if people are comfortable to, speak or say anything that they would want to say at the end. So just keep muted until then, comrades. So we are live streaming this event because we're so proud of our volunteers and we want everyone to know. But just in case people weren't aware, we wanted to let you know that this is being live streamed. So this is, public. So Uhuru, are the slides shared? I don't see it on my end. Just making sure that people have access to the slides or seeing it. Uhuru. All right. Thank you, Comrade Lisa. All right. So before we start our program, I just want to salute some of our leadership, starting with, of course, Chairman Amalia Shatella of the African People's Socialist Party and founder of the Uhuru movement. Next slide. We also salute the president of APEDF, which is the African People's Education and Defense Fund, and deputy chair of the African People's Socialist Party, Ona Zanaya Shatella, for leading our more than 50 economic organizations that work to develop and empower African people and their community. So salute DC Ona. And then next, we also want to salute Director Akile, who is not on, unfortunately, but of course, we will salute her. She's the overall director of the Burning Spear Media and editor-in-chief of the Burning Spear newspaper, and of course, my direct leadership. She couldn't be here today, but she, played an integral role in organizing this event, and of course, in leading all the media work that of the movement, and is super proud of and appreciative of all the volunteers that work to make this work possible. So, salute Director Akile. So we want to start by sharing a summary of the important work of the Burning Spear Media and Black Power 96 Radio over the past year. obviously made possible because of the contributions of time, energy, and talent and skills from many wonderful volunteers that are on today. So, Uhuru. So the Burning Spear team continues to produce beautiful issues of the Burning Spear newspaper every month. It has been a continuous publication since the Black Power movement of the 1960s, making it the longest running African revolutionary journal in the world. So what you see on the slide now is just some of the covers that have been, showcased through I believe 2024 or 2023. So this past year, the Mafundi Lake Prisoner Subscription Program has grown to reach over 900 people locked up in prisons across the United States. This is a lifeline to Africans incarcerated and isolated in brutal conditions of modern-day slavery as part of the U.S. government counterinsurgency program against the African community. Burning Spear Publications also released the new book, The Verdict Is In, Reparations Now. It is the 40th anniversary edition of the report from the 1982 World Tribunal on Reparations to African People, including a foreword by Louise Kinshasa and additional testimonies and an epilogue by Chairman Omali Eshitela. So, of course, Burning Spear Media partnered with the University of Florida, who received a $50,000 grant for a project called Preserving the Journalistic Recordings of Burning Spear Media, 1971 and 1999. And so all of the spears since the Burning Spear's founding since 1969 have been actually archived with the University of Florida. And this is just another project that the University of Florida is partnering with us. So under the leadership of Burning Spear Media Director Kile Nai, the Hands Off Uhuru Info Ed Tech Committee helped spread the word about the Hands Off Uhuru, Hands Off Africa campaign through the handsoffuhuru.org website. And this is the website that you see on the screen. We also have media interviews on the website as well. And of course, the social media work that's also being done by the Hands Off Uhuru Social Media Committee. Black Power 96 Radio is a project of the African People's Education and Defense Fund, the baddest nonprofit on the planet, whose mission is to defend the human and civil rights of the African community and to end the disparities faced by African people in health, healthcare, education, and economic development. We salute APEDF's president, Onaza Tella, for her bold and visionary leadership. We also wanted to share with you just a few of the 2023 accomplishments of Black Power 96's parent nonprofit, the African People's Education and Defense Fund, whose work has been widely recognized with funding and support from organizations such as the USDA and several private companies and foundations. And this fall, the APEDF determined that the economic climate made it impossible to maintain operations of its two used furniture stores, one in Oakland and one in Philly. And the African People's Education and Defense Fund was honored and recognized by the Philadelphia City Council for defending the rights of the African community, providing affordable furniture and home goods to Philadelphians, providing jobs, job training, and volunteer opportunities, and committing all profits to support economic development and self-determination programs for Black communities across the country. And so the closing of these stores will allow APDF to give more focus to its expanding work in St. Louis, where in just last year, APDF opened the Black Power Vanguard's community basketball court and the Mafundi Lake fourplex housing for the African Independent Workforce Program that will provide employment and housing for those returning to our community from the colonial prison system. So you can learn about these projects and more at blackpowerblueprint.org. It lays out all of the work that APEDF is involved in doing. So the African People's Education and Defense Fund has served the Black community of St. Petersburg for over 28 years with programs including a fitness gym, free HIV testing, free health fairs, an event venue and licensed kitchen, family festivals, marketplaces for neighborhoods, vendors, public forums, a community meeting place, a Saturday school, and backyard vegetable gardening education. So APDF is just in all walks of life. So from its studios in the Black community of South St. Petersburg, Black Power 96.3 FM radio broadcasts music and public affairs programming produced by and for the Black community. In 2017, the African People's Education and Defense Fund's Black Power 96 Radio went live on the FM airways, and African workers built this station from the ground up, raising the tower and creating the broadcast studio. So those are just some of the pictures showing that work, in action. In 2021, a longtime station volunteer, Mr. Eddie Mosby, was hired on as station manager. 100% blind DJ Eddie has brought a far-reaching vision for professionalizing and growing Black Power 96. So Uhuru, salute to Comrade DJ Eddie. And on Fridays at 5 p.m. Eastern Time, it's the local Going Global Top 5 at 5 with Black Power 96 radio station manager and the world's best blind DJ Eddie Maltby. This is just some information on how unsigned artists can submit their music to submit music at blackpower96.org, and listeners can vote by texting their favorite author, their favorite artist's name to 888-P79-BP96. And this is just another community kind of contest that the Black Power 96 hosts. So Mr. Eddie initiated a weekly context called local going global, where unsigned artists submit their music, and like I said, listeners vote by text to message for their favorite song. And so these are just some of the winners that have been chosen. So the Black community suffered disproportionately from the COVID-19 pandemic, losing so many of our comrades. And in an effort to slow the spread, Black Power 96 restricted our in-person recruitment of programmers and volunteer staff. In 2023, we brought three new programmers on board and trained them. In December, Black Power 96 held the first annual 5K walk for Black Power to raise awareness and funds for this independent Black media institution. It was a dynamic event and a great experience for everyone involved. And save the date, this year we'll have it on December 7th for the second annual 5K walk for Black Power. So we will talk more about Black Power Radio, but let's get into recognizing some of the volunteers who made Burning Spear Media possible this year. So we're going to start by recognizing a few of our Burning Spear comrades and teams who have gone above and beyond. So the first comrade we want to recognize is Comrade Logan from the Burning Spear newspaper team, as the Burning Spear Media Volunteer of the Year. This comrade, is involved in so many aspects of the work as layout editor of the Burning Spear newspaper and serving in the social media committee for the Hands Off Uhuru campaign. Comrade Logan adds so much technical and political leadership through the work he's involved in and has become, a deeply valued staff member. And I could keep going, but I just want to salute Comrade Logan and all the work that he's done to make the Burning Spear newspaper just absolutely shine and look beautiful throughout 2023 and now 2024. So I just want to salute Comrade Logan as Volunteer of the Year, Uhuru. So up next, we also want to recognize Comrade Nyabinga for a Burning Spear Media Dedicated Service Award. Comrade Binga is a comrade that's been involved with the Spear, way before I even joined, and he's such a reliable comrade who every time I assign something, he's always able to get it done, and not just done, but is very, thorough and detailed over all of the political editing that he does. So his political edits, are so specific and detailed that they almost serve as political education material on their own. So I just want to salute Comrade Nyabinga Uhuru for amazing dedicated service award. So up next, we also want to recognize Comrade Sayero for a Burning Spear Media Dedicated Service Award. Sayero is another comrade who, despite any challenges he might be facing, will always prioritize the work. And if I happen to not assign anything, he's the type that will reach out to me and ask if there's anything that needs to get done. So this is just another amazing and reliable comrade who makes the production of the Spear a really seamless process. And I don't think I mentioned this, but he mostly serves as a transcriber, but he also does a lot of the proofreading work that gets done to, make the Spear look really good. So Uhuru, and thank you, Comrade Sayero. Up next, we also want to recognize Comrade Kota for a Burning Spear Media Dedicated Service Award. Comrade Kota is also another comrade that is involved in so many other projects that the party is involved in. Mainly, Kota is responsible for, leading the program subcommittee for the One Africa, One Nation flea markets that are held in Philadelphia. That alone is a big responsibility, but on top of that, when any Spear assignment comes through, she's always very responsive and accessible, and her proofing work is just top tier. She's one of the most detailed proofreaders out there. I know that if I assign something, she's always gonna catch things that I would never catch. So nothing gets past this comrade. So I just want to appreciate Comrade Kota for really great and amazing work that she does and anything that she's involved in. So Uhuru, and thank you, Comrade Kota, for your dedicated service. Up next, we want to recognize Sheila, Comrade Sheila, for a Burning Spear Media Outstanding Commitment Award. Sheila is another amazing comrade who's on a whole other continent. You know, she's in Germany, but she's someone who also has another amazing turnaround time. She's super reliable and always gets her assignments done on time. Like, it doesn't matter what time zone she's in, she's gonna get it done. And like I said, despite being hours ahead, she always shows up to the spear meetings, and is never, you know, and is super just valuable to the work that she does. So, and that the spear does. So, Uhuru, Comrade Sheila, and thank you for your outstanding commitment to the Burning Spear newspaper. Um, Up next, we also want to recognize Comrade Tracy for a Burning Spear Media Outstanding Commitment Award. Tracy is another comrade that is located overseas in Australia, but absolutely just shines with the work that she does as both a contributor and a proofreader for the Spear. You know, the time zone sometimes makes it impossible for her to make the Spear meetings, but she makes the time to meet with Director Akile and stay up to date on anything that the Spear is doing. So she's just another dedicated and reliable comrade who's able to report on things that are happening in another continent, and you know, just is really a really reliable comrade who's just always on top of it. So Uhuru, Comrade Tracy, and thank you so much for all the work that you do. So now moving to our folks from Layout. This is still in Burning Spear, of course, but these are people we want to highlight from Layout. So the first comrade we want to highlight is Comrade Bobby for a Burning Spear Media Outstanding Commitment Award. Comrade Bobby is another outstanding comrade who works really hard to put together great looking pages on the Spear and works really closely with Comrade Logan to make that happen. So thank you so much, and Uhuru to Comrade Bobby. And one more person we want to recognize for Burning Spear Media Outstanding Commitment Award is Comrade Kian, who also works with our layout team. Has been another reliable and just steadfast comrade who works closely with Comrade Logan as our layout editor to get pages laid out and ready to go to press on time. So Huru Kian, thank you so much for all of the things that you do for the Spear. I mean, the layout team as a team is just a really important part of the Spear's production team. So I just want to obviously highlight everybody involved in that, but just highlight these two comrades as well. So now I'll hand it over to Comrade Sandy, who's a member of the White Solidarity component of our movement, who works under African leadership in our media and communications operations to present the awards for comrades working in the Hands Off Uhuru PR committee. So Uhuru, Sandy.
Uhuru, thank you, Soliana. And it's so great to be here and see so many different amazing people that make this media work happen, and the fight for free speech and the fight for the truth and the words and the voices of the African working class. It's an honor to be a part of this program today, and also to be a part of this work. And I also want to just salute Chairman Omali Ishitela, our leadership, Deputy Chair Onezene Ishitela, who's also the president of the African People's Education and Defense Fund, as you said, the baddest nonprofit on the planet, of which Black Power 96 is a project. And as a member of African People's Solidarity Committee, I just I just want to say I'm so honored to be able to carry out the work assigned to me in returning the resources in the form of fundraising, as well as skills and time and effort. Because everything that we have in the white community comes at the expense of African people and has historically. And so to be able to participate in turning this around and setting things right and building a new world, it's a tremendous honor. And I do also want to salute my leadership in the Solidarity Movement, Chairwoman Penny Hess, and also Chair Jesse Neville, both of whom are members of the Uhuru 3, which kind of leads us into our next award. So there's a lot. So I co-chair with Comrade Aliki Ngoma, the public relations team of the Hands Off Uhuru campaign. So I think most people are probably familiar with that, but that is our work under the leadership of Director Akile to wage the war of ideas and basically put the U.S. government on trial in the eyes of the people, make sure that everyone in the world knows about the Uhuru 3 as we put the government on trial in response to the outrageous and bogus, baseless charges that have been filed against Chairman Omali Ishitela, Chairwoman Penny Hess, and Chair Jesse Neville, that they have conspired with the Russians to sow discord in America. after all the decades of work that they have done to tell the truth about what's happening in America, just outrageous that they would be charged to not be acting on their own agency, but to be a pawn of someone else. So I'm looking at the screen. I'm not seeing it now. I have the honor of giving recognition to one of the comrades in the Hands Off Uhuru work, which is Comrade Lauren. And Comrade Lauren is a part of the social media team, and there she is, that is headed up by Aliki Ngoma, and she has brought tremendous enthusiasm, talent, genius to the posting, to building the platforms, to the engagement, which is something that we're really struggling to do much more of, engage with all the people who are expressing support for this effort. And so Comrade Lauren is really a rising star, and this isn't the only thing she does in the movement, but in her work in this media component, she is being recognized today. So Uhuru to Comrade Lauren. And then another member of the public relations team that we wanted to give, and we're going to speak more to, there's a lot of people on the team that we're going to be naming, but the Burning Spear Media had determined to give special awards to Comrade Lauren and also to Comrade Becky. So Comrade Becky is on the publicist side that I am more involved with, which has to do with getting interviews booked and getting publicity into the press, the media, the newspapers, radio. And Comrade Becky has only been with us in this effort for a couple of months. We started her off slow on like doing some calendar announcements, doing some data entry, and she just, anything that needed to be done, she took on and has learned how to do it. So, research, booking guests. She's responsible for a couple of the really important interviews that took place recently with Glenn Greenwald and Robert Patillo, the civil rights attorney out of Atlanta. She was responsible for. And then when it was determined that one thing that was needed was some preparation of Omali Yeshitela's speeches to be able to air on the radio, she learned how to audio edit. So just salute to Comrade Becky and recipient of Rising Star Award, Uhuru.
Uhuru, I think I am up next, and I just want to introduce myself briefly. I am also a member of the African People's Solidarity Committee. My name is Lisa. I'm located in Minneapolis. And it's just so moving to see all of these volunteers be recognized and just see the amazing contributions that they make to Burning Spear Media and Black Power 96 Radio. And I just want to echo what all the presenters so far have said in saluting the leadership of the African People's Socialist Party, Chairman Omali Yeshitela, Onezene Yeshitela, President of the African People's Education and Defense Fund, and the whole National Central Committee of the party, and the leadership of these media institutions, Director Akile, Mr. Eddie, yourself, and Soliana, you as the managing editor. I mean, these are just incredible, inspiring Black Power institutions, and it is an incredible honor to work as a member of the Solidarity Committee on, be part of this work. And I am presenting a couple of slides. So Burning Spear Media, so kind of back to some of the areas of work under Burning Spear Media, wants to recognize, I'm gonna get my slide here, Joseph, who is an amazing volunteer who's been working on the websites of Burning Spear Media for a number of years, and volunteers as part of the Uhuru web team, and was instrumental to the development and launch of the new and improved online edition of the Burning Spear newspaper. So in 2023, that was able to launch thanks to Joseph. And if people, hopefully everybody who's on is aware of that, but if you haven't already, please go and check out theburningspear.com. It just looks a lot better. And, Joseph helped develop the whole process where we went to the readers and got feedback on, what the features people wanted. So he really helped through the whole process. And he continues to play a role in the maintenance of the site. And we're just so appreciative of this dedicated volunteer who contributes his skills to improving the web presence of Burning Spear Media and reaching more people with that. And then also I have had the honor to work on the team that helped produce the book, The Verdict is in, Reparations Now. And this team did the painstaking work of cleaning up audio transcriptions, copy editing, proofreading, and laying out testimonies from the first World Tribunal on Reparations to African People that was held in 1982 in Brooklyn, New York. And the tribunal was organized by the African People's Socialist Party, with Chairman Omali Yeshitela serving as the people's advocate. And he used international law to indict the US government for committing genocide against African people, with the support of testimonies from experts as well as everyday people talking about colonial conditions in the African community, and with a verdict from the panel of judges from around the world that declared the US guilty, and that $4.1 trillion in 1982 dollars was due to African people for stolen labor alone. So shout out, of course, to Chairman Omali Yeshitela for writing this book, and to those from the chairman's office who contributed to the book's production as well, and African Socialist International Secretary General Luwezi Kinshasa, who wrote the preface, and to all of those who provided the moving testimony that I hope everyone will get a copy of the book and read it for yourselves. But the book production team was incredible, and it was a lot of work, and just want to recognize the people who played a role. And I really hope we haven't forgotten anyone, but Kota, Diane, Jasmine, Johan, Logan, Mads, Sayero, Sheila, Soliana, Taylor, and Wendy S. Just did all of that work over the past 1 or 2 years to make this book happen. So we just salute the book production team for their important work that made publishing this book possible, so the world can know about this historic tribunal, and it serves as a really important piece of evidence in defending Chairman Omali Yeshitela and the Uhuru Three, refuting the bogus charges that African people need anyone to tell them that the conditions they face constitute genocide and that reparations are due. Uhuru. And let's see, I think I'm gonna pass it back to you, Sandy.
Yeah, and then again, as I mentioned, the social media, well, the Hands Off Uhuru public relations team not only consists of the people who received the special award, but a whole team of really talented and really powerful, dedicated, committed members of that team. And Burning Spear Media, being led by Director Akile Anai, who also leads the info ed process for the Hands Off Uhuru work, determined, we wanted to give an award to the whole team. So again, Comrade Alikia, who is co-chair of the Hands Off Uhuru Public Relations, but specifically leads and drives the social media team. Comrade Arthur brings his terrific graphic design. Comrade Cesar, who is a brilliant and very speedy video editor. So if you see a lot of the things on TikTok or Instagram, the different social media, probably Comrade Cesar had his hand on that. And we did not, I think we neglected to put in, I know he already received the earlier award for Layout on the Spear, but Comrade Logan heads up the content creation for the social media team of Hands Off Uhuru. So he works closely with Comrade Cesar, Arthur, Chiwaniso, longtime member of the Uhuru movement, longtime leader of the Uhuru movement out of Houston, Texas, I believe, doing video editing. Again, Comrade Lauren. Lisa Davis, vice chair of the Black is Back Coalition for Social Justice, Peace, and Reparations, is on this team, on the social media team, driving engagement and always fighting, how are we going to get past these algorithms where they're trying to censor our content? And salute to Lisa Davis. Comrade Morlai just joined the team from West Africa. So he's a leader of the Uhuru movement on the continent of Africa and fighting for social media presence on the continent. And Comrade Paulette, who comes to the social media work as a longtime member of the Free Leonard Peltier Committee. So really developing that working relationship, because of course Hands Off Uhuru is an absolute strong and 100% behind the campaign to free Leonard Peltier. So, and there may be other people that we didn't get up there, but just salute to the entire Hands Off Uhuru social media team. And then in addition to that, the other part of the public relations work for Hands Off Uhuru is the publicist. And as I mentioned, Comrade Becky doing the work to book interviews. Comrade Aaron has just joined that team, and he's starting off just as Becky did in doing data entry, so we can keep track of all of these writers and radio hosts and make sure that everybody's staying informed. Comrade Diane, who coordinates the media for the Uhuru Solidarity Movement. So she's a part of that Hands Off Uhuru publicist team, since the head of the Uhuru Solidarity Movement is one of the Uhuru Three. And, you know, we have to get the word out about that. Comrade Paulo, who comes to the committee and brings a lot of connections and ideas for important places that we can get the chairman and other representatives of the campaign onto the their different platforms. And then Comrade Soliana, who is a managing editor of the Burning Spear, but also plays an important role on the publicist team, in particular, reaching out to other African publishers, her peers out in the world, who are publishers and editors of other African publications, to make sure that they are covering the campaign of Hands Off Uhuru. So I think
Uhuru,
that's it on Uhuru.
Thank you so much, Comrade Sandy, for presenting those awards and recognitions, and Comrade Lisa as well. Moving on now to more Burning Spear Media volunteers. We have a lot, comrades. It takes a lot of work to produce the Burning Spear newspaper. So these are more comrades we're going to be recognizing. So the first comrade that we want to recognize is Comrade Matsamela, who works with the Spear as a contributor and is also obviously president of the International People's Democratic Uhuru Movement. We want to salute President Matsamela for all the work that he does for the party, but also all the African internationalist articles that he writes for the Spear. He covers stories from like films to intellectual theoretical articles to just a lot of amazing articles that Comrade Matsamela crafts for the Burning Spear newspaper, all informed by African internationalism. So Uhuru, and salute to Comrade Matsamela for just being an amazing comrade and contributor to the Spear. Another comrade we also want to recognize is Comrade Musa, who consistently works to do field reporting for the Spear anytime we have an event. He also contributes articles to our online edition as well. So Uhuru, and thank you for your work, Comrade Musa. Really appreciate your work. Another comrade is Comrade McIndall, who contributes these really amazing, beautifully written articles to the Spear, and really, demonstrates his deep understanding of the African internationalist analysis in any other article that, he either writes on his own or he's tasked with writing. So he's one of those very sort of ambidextrous writers. I don't know if there's a better word for that, but just a very, very talented writer, and poet. So Uhuru, Comrade McIndall. Another comrade that we also want to recognize is Comrade Mads, who works as a proofreader for the Spear. Comrade Mads, is always on top of any assignment that I assign her and is meticulous with her work as well, who, has pretty great turnaround time. I'll be like, hey, Mads, like I need this by tomorrow. And she'll be like, okay. So Uhuru, Mads, thank you so much for all the proofreading work that you do. Another comrade. The next two comrades we'll actually be recognizing are newer comrades, but we want to recognize Comrade Dominique, who is also a classmate of mine, and wanted to join the Spear after hearing me chat about the Spear. So, despite being a really busy student, they always work to get their work done on time. So Uhuru, and thank you so much, Comrade Dominique. Another newer comrade, our last one, but definitely not the least, we want to recognize Comrade Nyahoj, who is located actually in Canada. She is our newest volunteer proofreader, but whose excitement for the work of the Spear, or excitement for the work that the Spear does, is sort of really infectious and invigorating. So Uhuru, and thank you so much, Comrade. So up for the next two slides, I'll hand it to Comrade Sandy. Thank you.
Uhuru. So these are recognitions that we're doing here are for Black Power 96. And before we get to the really special shining awards for the just outstanding volunteers. We also wanted to go wide and talk about the broad community support for Black Power 96, without which the station could not exist and would not have the growing leadership, the growing listenership that it does. And so much of this is thanks to the brilliant station manager of Black Power 96, Mr. Eddie Maltzby, the world's best blind DJ, the hardest working man in radio, without which Black Power 96 would not be anything like what it is today. So just, of course, salute to Comrade Station Manager Eddie Maltzby. And so in St. Petersburg, a community radio station is supported by the community. And there are so many people that we can't name all here, but some of the people we did want to mention was Pastor Ulysses Burden from the Power for Living Ministries, who's been a long-time underwriter and supporter of the station. I see Mr. Eddie's clapping for Pastor Burden, a long-time supporter. So much support out of the gospel community. Also, the Mahaffey Theater in closer to downtown St. Petersburg has been a long-time supporter and underwriter for the station. Local businesses, ProSe 101 does legal writing. Jennifer Nicholson represents artists. Some of the stores that always put up posters and sometimes underwrite and support the station and sell tickets for the gospel concerts when Mr. A asked them to, when there's local benefit gospel concerts that are a benefit for the station. Looking Good, Blue Nile that you see there, Mama Face, Ray Jacks, new underwriters, Rich Ritchie from Maha Chevrolet. So much support from the community there. Next slide. And then also just from the people. And so people may be aware that right now Black Power 96 is in a struggle with the Pinellas County Commission, who stole over $100,000 in grant funding from that Black Power 96 radio had qualified for. And when that happened, Mr. Eddie put out the call for people to come down the station and sign a petition to support that. You see a photo here of one of the many, over 500 people dropped what they were doing, came to the station, said, yes, we support this. They signed a petition. Spoke out, and we don't have photos here, but so many people spoke out at the commission meeting. Comrades Peg, Dolly Boy, so many people that we don't have all named, but thank you to the people who came and spoke out at the Pinellas County Commission meeting. And thank you to Attorney Luke LaRoe and his team, who have been representing Black Power 96 in a lawsuit that the station filed against Pinellas County Commission for violating the station's rights to free speech and to the resources that are deserved by the station. And then I think it's back to you for the local going global artists. Soliana.
Yes, thank you so much, Comrade Sandy, for summing up that work. So now we're moving into saluting the top 5 at 5 local artists going global. The top 5 at the 5 local that's such a mouthful. Local artists going global weekly contest as developed by station manager Eddie Maltzby. So the 2023's winners include Dally Boy, Ezekiel Hargrove, Daddy Dollar, Shaban Monique, Sojo the Ladies Champ, FBS AJ, Barbara Walker, Crunk Coco, SJ or Sean Ford, and Christiana. So congratulations to these comrades. And like I said earlier, this is an ongoing contest. So definitely tap into Black Power 96 when these contests are happening, so you can vote, make your voice heard, and, give these local artists some global attention, So moving on, we want to recognize volunteers with Black Power 96 Radio, starting with some awards. So Mr. Eddie, you're recognizing Mariah as Black Power 96's Volunteer of the Year. Can you please tell us more about Comrade Mariah and the work that she does? Uhuru.
Uhuru, Celiana, appreciate you. First of all, let me appreciate you and Comrade Sandy and Comrade Lisa for this wonderful, spectacular night of recognizing volunteers. And this Conrad Mariah has been extra special, doing everything and beyond that we asked her to do, coming in, and she really deserves this award out there on the West Coast, I believe, and she's just amazing. Making posts I got a call one day saying that, oh, I like the posts and stuff you guys have been making lately. So she's making a wonderful impact here at Black Power 96 and our social media, man. And I just want to salute that, Conrad Mariah, well deserved of Volunteer of the Year award.
Uhuru, thank you, Comrade DJ Eddie. So up next, Mr. Eddie, you also recognized Comrade Loria with the Rising Star Award. So can you tell us more about Comrade Loria?
Yes, Loria definitely deserves that award. Again, another volunteer, heart and soul of the station. She's come in, donated twice or three times during the fund drive. Also donated to the movement, the African People's Socialist Party, and she does everything. And I do mean everything I've asked her to do. She's done, and above that, she has done that. And I really want to salute that, Conrad. A marvelous and tremendous work she's done. Euro, back to you.
Uhuru, thank you. So up next, Black Power 96 Radio is also recognizing Chris C. with an interesting award called the MacGyver Award. Can you tell us more about this, comrade?
And that caught right. So that Ciliana.
Oh yeah, I said Chris C.
Okay, Chris Clemens. Yes, Chris has been dynamic. He's been with us for a couple of years now. Last year, he won an award, and this year, most deserving. And he's been out now for a little while, and we just want to keep him lifted up in prayer with Chris going through a little sickness right now, but most deserving of this award. Anytime we needed him, Chris has been there, and all of these volunteers, they are the heart and soul of Black Power. Congratulations, Chris.
Uhuru, thank you. Congrats, Chris. So up next, we also have Black Power 96 Radio is also recognizing, sorry, I might be butchering this, but Taniga with the Love of Community Award. Can you tell us more about this, comrade?
This comrade is sitting right next to me. And she is definitely a big supporter of Black Power, and she's the one that goes out in the street, help picking up the posters, putting out flyers, and doing a whole lot for DJ Eddie. And we're engaged to get married, so I love her.
Oh, yeah. Congratulations and thank you, comrade, for all the work that you do. All right, so up next, Black Power 96 is recognizing the Dr. Crab and Grace Nori show with an outstanding show team award. Can you tell us a little bit more about these comrades?
Yeah, I just want to appreciate Dr. Crab. He has other shows, but he makes every Wednesday spectacular with Grace Nori. I think the combination with both of them are doing very well, and I think they should be not only this award, but maybe a Rising Star Award because together they are an awesome team, and it's just like watching somebody on television, dynamic together. They really are, and so congratulations to Dr. Crab and of course Grace Nori. Dr. Crab Show. Congratulations.
Thank you, comrade DJ Eddie. So up next, we are recognizing Norman Otis Richard, aka Jalali, and Melinda Francis, aka Mali, host of Diasporic Music with an outstanding show team award. They're truly deserving of this award for their long-standing dedicated production of the show and this year's innovative promotions, including social media at the new website, diasporicmusic.com. And so there are even more Black Power 96 volunteers that we want to recognize who, make Black Power 96 the really community effort that it is. So we want to recognize DJ Larry, who hosts the original Florida Spiritual Layers radio program heard every Thursday and Saturday morning. We also want to shout out to Bruce, aka BLA, which stands for Bruce Loves the Almighty. He hosts the In the Bible show heard on Tuesday mornings on Black Power 96 radio. I don't know if people are seeing the slides right now, but yeah, just making sure that we're on Bruce. And
sorry,
it's okay. And the next comrade that we want to recognize is Barbaric Eric. And Eric, if you are watching, we definitely need to get a picture of you for this, but Eric hosts the Devour Hour each Wednesday at 4 p.m. Eastern. We also want to shout out Brendan, who is the new coordinator of the Reparations in Action White Lies Shattered radio show and podcast heard Fridays at 3 p.m. Eastern on Black Power 96. We also want to give a shout out to Jamie, who has been a longtime host of the Reparations in Action, White Lies Shattered radio show and podcast. And we also, again, want to shout out PDM President Matsamela again, this time for his contributions to Black Power 96 Radio as a producer and host of the Black Power Talks podcast. And now in his role as the NPDM president, continuing to support Black Power 96 during our many fund drives and by hosting special online studies, calling on people to donate, and being a sustaining member of the station himself. So Uhuru, and thank you, Comrade Matsamela. We also want to shout out Comrade Smiley, who always answers the call when Black Power 96 Radio needs photos or videos. He was there when Black Power 96 held its first annual 5K walk for Black Power in December, taking photos and drone video footage. So thank you so much, Comrade Smiley, and we look forward to working with you for many more projects. We also want to shout out Jay, who has a degree in radio broadcasting and has already contributed many of his talents to volunteer projects, including creating a compilation of artist testimonials about Black Power 96 Radio for a webinar held this past November. So thank you, Comrade Jay. We also want to shout out Chechi, who we met through Jay and who's one of the newest members of the Uhuru Volunteer Brigade in Black Power 96 Radio. She's already done some voiceover work and just raised her hand in today's team meeting to be trained on editing of the short audio pieces that are created to air on the station. So Uhuru, we look forward to working more with you, Karma Chechi. Up next, we also want to shout out Chris W., who is a local radio broadcast engineer who has donated equipment and provided expertise since Black Power 96 launch. So thank you so much, Chris. And just finally, we want to give a huge shout out to others who have volunteered with Black Power 96 this year or in the past, but have moved on to other opportunities. They contributed so much, and we wish them the best and hope to hear from them again. So people like Anya, Dana, Kali, Jancil, Leezy, James, and Apipsa, you're always welcome at Black Power 96 Radio. And before, we sort of close out, DJ Eddie, did you want to add anything from all the comrades we just mentioned?
Oh yes, Uhuru comrades. I just want to just go back and say what you already said. How much I appreciate all of these volunteers. We cannot do it without it. I say it all the time. They are the heart and soul of this station and what we do here. And I just want to salute each and every one of them. Let no one go without being mentioned. Let no one go without being recognized. And I just want to say that. And thank you, all of you all, and congratulations to all the volunteers.
Uhuru, thank you so much, DJ Eddie. Yes, I just want to echo that and want to congratulate everybody that was mentioned, who won an award or just works to make sure that the Burning Spear newspaper and Black Power 96 do the work that needs to get done. And at this point, we just, like I said, want to say thank you. And if anyone is comfortable just coming on camera, unmuting, and maybe saying anything they want to say, we want to open it up for comments. So if comrades are comfortable with that, this will now be the time for that. So Uhuru.
Uhuru.
Uhuru family, this is Dr. Warren Crabb. Thank you. Oh, wait, turn that off, baby. Hello, everybody. This is Dr. Warren Crabb. Can you hear me?
Uhuru, yes, you could be heard.
Okay, thank you. Thank you so much for the mention and the volunteer of Black Power 96. I am dedicated towards the cause of African Americans or African people here in this country and worldwide. I appreciate the opportunity to express the things that I'm expressing about ex-cons living in the world today, and ex-cons matter. It's a big thing in our community that's been downplayed, but it can no longer be because I've declared a state of emergency. So I appreciate all the support from Uhuru, from the chairman all the way down to everybody, especially my mentor, the best blind DJ in the world, DJ Eddie. Yes, Eddie Malsby, that's my brother. Okay, so thank you so much. I love y'all, and I'll see you this Wednesday, Eddie.
Uhuru, thank you so much, Dr. Warren Crabb. Appreciate you coming on and for your kind words. Comrade Bing, I see that you also had turned your camera on. Did you want to add anything?
Yeah, Uhuru.
Uhuru.
Just it's an honor to be mentioned in the company of so many comrades who are doing this work. I think I when I first joined the movement, it there were nowhere near this many comrades who were involved in this kind of work with the spear and radio and all these things. And it's just it's amazing to see. It's really amazing to see. And I just I appreciate the ability to just be in the company of all of y'all. And this work is nothing more important than this, and um feel like I mentioned, but I feel like it's so much more that can be done, right? And so much more that we all can do, I'm sure. And just, but I appreciate the work that everybody's doing, and we're gonna be free. So let's keep the spear burning. For
Uhuru, thank you so much. It's definitely good to see your face, and I just appreciate and echo everything that you said. I joined, I guess, fairly recently, I guess maybe 3 years ago now. Well, 3 years ago now, but it's still such a growing institution that we have, and every day it's growing. And so I also want to say that I'm really honored to be part of this community of such stalwart comrades who work to make this work possible. Comrade Sayero, I see your hand up. You can go ahead.
I'm not presentable
No
physically
worries.
today, but
Mhm.
you dropped a bomb on me tonight that was really unexpected. I was just coming on to a program, I thought, but I really, I'm shaken and I'm stirred. I'm proud. I'm inspired. I just want to thank all of the crew, because we don't really know what it takes to get things or make things work until we begin to immerse ourselves into those things. And
Yeah.
sometimes I've not, and I'm here I am gonna tell on myself. Sometimes I don't believe I do enough, but I'm accepted. And I'm really honored because it's definitely dignifying and makes me inspired that I'm an African that lives in America that's working on behalf of African internationalism under the leadership of Chairman Omali Yeshitela and all of you inspirational people. Thank you so much, Uhuru.
Uhuru, thank you so much, Sayuro. You know me, I appreciate all the work that you do for the Spear. Like I mentioned earlier, you're the type to reach out to see if there's work that needs to be done. You're so on top of it. So you should never feel like you're not doing enough. You're doing definitely more than enough. So just want to thank you for all the work that you do for the Spear, because you do a lot of the grunt work, especially transcribing. They're not easy assignments. Those are proofreading. It's like a proofreading assignment on its own as well, because you're you know, writing down what people are saying and then making sure it's correct, that kind of thing. So I just really appreciate all the work that you do for the Spirit Comrade. So Uhuru, and salute to you. Is there anybody else that wants to
Wait a minute,
say?
excuse me. Can you hand me that box of Kleenex over there, please? Just kidding. Uhuru, Uhuru, everyone.
Uhuru, Comrade. Uhuru. Um, Uhuru, Kamala Logan, go ahead.
Uhuru, yeah, I'm just very, very thankful to, the whole Spirit team and staff, and like very happy to use my skills for the Spirit in a productive way, but more than that, like, and also, the party and the movement history and Spirit's history also makes it, easy to be confident in the work that I do, and I'm also just grateful to be part of an organization that, does what it says, for so long.
Uhuru, yes, that's exactly how I feel as well. Being part of such a historic institution like the Spear is definitely like you said, adds that confidence in the work that you do. Um, the Spear as an organ of the African People's Socialist Party hasn't wavered in any of the work that the Spear does, and any of the political line that it holds, always on the right side of history. So it's just something that honestly does feel like an honor to be in. Like seeing your name under the staff, list is just an honor. I don't know how else to put it, but yes, I unite. Is there anything else people want to come off mute or anything like that? If not, we could definitely move to adjourn. I want to, just thank everybody for coming out tonight. I appreciate everybody here. I know there's more that aren't on the call, but we live stream this so people know that they are getting appreciated, and they can also go back and see that, their name was called, kind words were said about them. And before we close, do any of my co-hosts want to add anything? I don't want to just end it.
You're right, Liana. I just want to appreciate this stance that we all are connected with, and that's African internationalism. I just want to appreciate all of that revolution for African people everywhere here and abroad. I just want to just appreciate everybody. It's good to see Logan, Conrad Logan, who's done so much work with the spear, and all of these Conrads. It's just amazing how we can come together. We need to do this more often. For as the Black Power 96.3 FM radio station, I am definitely pulling for us to work more and more together with the Spear, and got that opportunity this year by putting the local artists into the Spear. Every time we have a local artist, number one artist of the week here at Black Power. So I'm really ecstatic about that. And before I go, I just want to salute, of course, the leadership, Chairman Amala Yasatella, Deputy Chair Ona Zene Yasatella, Conrad Lisa, Sandy, who I cannot do my work without those two Conrads who work side by side with me each and every day I'm here. So I just wanted to say that and get that out. And congratulations to all of the recipients and everyone. And before I say anything, my lovely wife to be wants to say a little word before she goes. You're correct.
I just want to let you all know that the word of mouth is out there about 96.3. Thank you for allowing me to be a part of it. I'm from St. Petersburg. I did not know anything about the radio station, but it came to me through word of mouth. And now it's just phenomenal how many people really do listen to it. So keep up the good work, you guys. And together, everyone achieves more. We all in it together. United we stand, divided we fall. Let's make it happen together. All right. That's what we're here for.
Uhuru, back to you, Sariana. Yeah.
Yes, and thank you so much, comrades, for those words. And Sandy, yeah, go ahead.
Uhuru, there was a suggestion to make sure, if people aren't looking at the chat, to share what had been said, and so I could do that. Should I?
Sure, yeah, go ahead.
Okay, so from Comrade Becky, she's like, thank you so much. It's a great honor and joy to be amongst all of you very talented comrades. I had made the comment about Logan. Comrade Logan really makes it happen. Not only does he bring great, brilliant technical skills, but really he's just all in, making sure that the strong message is conveyed both on the Hands Off Uhuru work and in the Spear. And then also salute to Mariah for, I don't think it was mentioned that she is now doing writing a regular article that appears in the Burning Spear. So if you haven't seen that, everyone, please check out the articles that Mariah has been to the newspaper, all about the local going global winners, and the recent appearance by station manager Eddie Maltzby at the WEDU promotional screening of the Lewis Henry Gates documentary on the tradition of gospel and the history of gospel. And Mr. Eddie, was asked to come and be featured as a speaker, telling his stories in his experience with the gospel tradition. And Mariah wrote about that. Tanja and Loria took photos, so we were able to just share that with the world. So that was just really important. Dennis Sayaro saying love Black Power. Lauren Uhuru comments, thank you. Salute to the leadership of Chairman O'Malley and the African People's Socialist Party, over 50 years of relentless work. Comrade Cesar, where did that one go? He said something in Spanish I'll probably butcher, but I think it was Uhuru, congratulations to all. La lucha sigue, the struggle continues. I think I got them all. It's great to hear from everyone and so great to be with everyone. I think we get into from Director Kile, who had been under the weather, and so just participating kind of stealth mode, checking it out. But she wanted to share a comment. She says, do you want to read that one, Soliana?
Yeah, sure. So Director Achilles says, I want to express my profound appreciation for this battery of forces in the struggle for anti-colonial free speech. It has already been said so much. The people are the heart and soul of this movement, and that's evinced in this event here. Salute to the core team, Eddie, Soliana, Lisa, and Sandy. That the Make It Happen crew. Salute to Chairman O'Malley and Deputy Chair. We are winning, comrades. Forward ever. You are all proof of Africa's bright future. Uhuru, and thank you so much, Director Akile. I feel like that was just such a perfect sign off. Even when she's not on, she's on. As Director Akile for y'all, comrades. So Uhuru, again, and thank you so much. Like, I'm sure, is there anything else people want to add, or are we sure move to adjourn at this point? All right.
Well, just again,
okay, go ahead.
Just again to salute really the leadership of Deputy Chair Ona Zane, who initiated this kind of volunteer recognitions throughout the movement. And, I think we all get into our specific area, like, okay, I'm with the radio, I'm with the Burning Spear, I'm with the social media team. So to be able to, but it's all part of media and conveying these ideas out here. So I just really appreciate being able to see and meet each other. Uhuru.
Uhuru, thank you. Yes, that is really important. Thank you for bringing that to the table, comrade. But Uhuru, comrades, I just again want to thank you all for coming to this, really amazing program. We organized this to appreciate you, comrades, and I just hope you feel appreciated, first of all, and just want to thank you for all the work that you guys do. So Uhuru, vanguard up, forward ever, back and never, Uhuru.
Forward ever, backward never. Uhuru, vanguard up.
Uhuru. Uhuru.
Sweet love in Africa. Africa is my motherland. Nice love in Africa. Oh, Africa is my motherland. Sweet love in Africa. Africa is my motherland. Nice love in Africa. Oh, Africa is my motherland. Asumalele mama. Love you, Africa. Asumalele mama. Love you, Africa. Asumalele mama. Love you, Africa. Love you, Africa.
Uhuru, Africa. Freedom is what we want. Uhuru, Africa. We are crying for freedom. Uhuru, Africa. Uhuru, Africa. Uhuru, Africa. Yes, we want freedom. Something my good. Freedom is all what we need. Africa, Africa. Let's come together as one, so that we can make one nation. Come on, Africa. 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 We want freedom. We want freedom. Africa. We want freedom. Africa. Chairman O'Malley, Yeshitela, Chairman and leader of the Uhuru
Sweet
movement.
love in Africa.